Hey everybody, we back again.
We back.
I'm Spencer, and of course we have our licensed clinical therapist, Naz.
Hello, Dr. Nas. How y'all doing?
Terrible. All right, here we go. This is the Different Spectrums podcast, where we talk about movie shows and the mental health aspects that surround them. We also like to have some laughs, so don't take us too seriously.
Or do. It's up to you.
There you go. Also, don't forget to run up those likes for us. We'd really appreciate it. Also, go check out Bub's Naturals and Cure Hydration, both partners of this show. You can go on bubsnaturals.com or curehydration.com and get 20% off your entire order if you use the code DSP20. That's DSP20. Different Spectrum Store.
DSP20.
And then also don't forget to check out our merch. We have a lot of it, a lot of cool stuff on there. I ordered some, and I'm going to be wearing it on the show whenever I can. So
I was thinking about making a shirt today at the gym that just says therapist on the back.
Just
like security, but this one just says therapist.
Yeah. There you go. Yeah, there you go. Good idea. Just slap a logo on it. Done.
Therapist, and then little different spectrums pod in the corner. We're good.
There you go. That's all you need. See, look at that. We make up things on the fly.
On the fly.
Ooh. All right. So today we're going to be taking a look at Gollum from the Two Towers and Lord of the Rings. Yes,
sir.
Yes, but we're going to be taking a deep dive into Gollum /
Smeagol.
So some topics that we're going to be covering today. We're going to be talking about metaphors for intrusive thoughts, dual personality, good versus bad, all that fun stuff. Maybe even slight schizophrenia, maybe. Who knows, really?
Everyone,
he was okay for a long time.
Make some fun. It gives them a little spice.
Just a little spiciness. Yeah. Like, ooh, is he gonna bite my finger off? I don't know. We'll see. I'm nervous about this date with Gollum.
Oh my god. The way he eats fish. Oh my god. If someone ever ate like that in front of me, that one scene, the very first scene from movie 3, Jesus.
Yeah, he's a
character.
He's a character. So we're gonna be diving into that. Naz, anything before we get into the clip?
Yeah, I'm just excited that I finally watched Lord of the Rings, and I've seen all 3 of those. Finally got to the Hobbit, and I thought this scene with Smeagol fighting all this craziness is something really good we can use as a really good metaphor and a teaching moment. There's a bunch of other stuff that we'll chop up in some reels too, obviously, because it's like 30 hours of movies. It's intense. But yeah, I'm excited. So obviously, everyone keep clicking on that link tree. Go get your free resources, apps, worksheets, coloring, whatever you want. It is on there. If you feel so helpful, some loving, little donation help out. Other than that, let's get into the pod. Let's check it out. Last thing is, it's been really fun getting all these guests to come in. We got a bunch more coming through the month of June and more coming in July. So stay tuned for that, folks. Stay tuned for that. All right. Let's have some fun. Whoop whoop.
Whoop whoop.
Sneaker.
Hey everyone, before we get into the show, please check out our collaborator, Bub's Naturals. They sell a variety of health and wellness products, including collagen peptides, MCT oil powder, coffee, apple cider vinegar gummies, and other amazing products. Go to bubsnaturals.com and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order. I just ordered their apple cider and vinegar gummies, and I'm excited to try them. If you are looking for a high-quality, all-natural health and wellness product, Bub's Naturals is a great option. The company offers a wide variety of items that are designed to improve overall health and well-being. So go check them out, and remember to use our code DSP20 when you check out. And with that, let's get into the show.
must have the precious. They stole it from us. Sneaky little hobbitses. Wicked, tricksy, false. No, master. Yes, precious, false. They will cheat you, hurt you, lie. Master's my friend. You don't have any friends. Nobody likes you. Not listening. Not listening. You're a liar. And a thief. No. Murderer. Go away. Go away! I hate you. I hate you. Where would you be without me? Ellen, I saved us. It was me. We survived because of me. Not anymore. What did you say? Master looks after us now. We don't need you. What? Leave now and never come back. No. Leave now and never come back. Leave now and never come back. We told him to go away. And away he goes, precious. Gone! Smeagol!
All right. Hey, everybody. We're back again.
We're back and we're live. We're live. We're live and we're back as far as my hairline. So it's back as far as my hairline, but we're live like the sides of my hair, not the
For
front.
those of you on the podcast side, he is bald.
You gave it away. I had a client. We were talking about real quick. We were talking about them dating, and they said, "All the men are bald these days." And you said, "Yeah, this what happens. You're getting older, right? You're old. You're in the 40s now, so they're gonna be bald." And they say it's a testosterone thing, because we got more testosterone unless we go bald or whatever. I heard that. I don't know if that's true. And she said, "No, it's just your hair. You know, it's because you keep getting taller. Your hair can't keep up to you." I said, "Oh, that makes sense. That's why it's all on my back." I told the client that, and she's like, "Excuse me while I go puke."
That's why Bigfoot is bald. Jesus.
Okay, back on track.
All the hair everywhere else on his body. Top of his head.
He just thought he couldn't reach. The stories that we have with my clients, yes, are quite magnificent. I forgot about that story until just now.
Yeah,
okay.
There you go.
I don't even know. Let's get back on track. Spence, I heard we had a special guest coming today.
You know what? We do have a special guest today. He's all the way from, was it Midgard? No, it's not Midgard.
Midgard, Mordor? I don't know.
Mordor? Yeah, I'll say Mordor.
So Mordor.
He's all the way from Mordor. It's our special guest, Smeagol.
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 Yeah, Smeagol, welcome to the show. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. How are you doing today?
I'm quite lovely. Your voice, you got a little hoarse in your voice today, I see. I didn't hear you. Did you try to say Gollum? The microphone didn't pick it up.
You're ruining it.
Gollum. Oh, yes. So, Smeagol,
on the Different Spectrums podcast, hearing your shitty jokes.
they're not jokes, they're life experiences, Smeagol. Yes, put some respect on it.
Bullshit.
Okay, people, let's get back to the show. Smeagol's
Wow,
done
our
for.
guest just ran away.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Let's
He's gone.
Spence, introduce what the hell we just watched, what movie it is,
Yes.
what the hell is Lord of the Rings, whatever you want to do. Catch us up.
Yes. So, in the scene, we're watching Gollum, who was a he was a hobbit at one point in his life. He was a hobbit, right? But one day found the ring. He found his precious, and so while he was just fishing, I believe, and then him and his brother fought for it, and then he just beat his brother to death with a rock. Very Cain and Abel shit right there.
It's intense.
Yeah, very intense scene. And then I'm assuming from there, because I don't think they go into it much till I can't remember the other like storyline of for it or for his original story.
Yeah,
origin
so
story.
they go into it a little bit in Hobbit, where he's like just locked in these caves and all that stuff, and then how
Right.
Bilbo Baggins ends up finding him there, right in these caves, and then so they talk about that a smidge.
Yeah.
But yeah, just really messed up. The ring just completely polluted and corroded his mind, everything.
Yes. And so he goes into like just hiding and making sure that nobody can take his precious. And so then he just becomes all deformed and lives in a cave for most of his life. And so now you're kind of seeing him being very isolated, and you're seeing his personalities kind of clash. So you have the Gollum side, and then you have the Smeagol side. Smeagol, that's more of his hobbit kind of human good side, I would say. Good side. While then you have Gollum, who's kind of the murderer slash, gonna bite your finger off. Side.
Greedy, scared.
Yeah.
He's just paranoid, schizophrenic, delusional, all of it. Gollum is the mind polluted.
Yes. And so we're seeing him having a conflict with Gollum, Smeagol having a conflict with Gollum, and how he's pretty much telling Gollum that you need to go. You get out of here, because I'm not going to kill his masters just, for the ring and everything. He wants to keep those friendships. Because I think those are probably like the two people, or at least one of them. At least
yes,
one of them has been nice to him for the most part, and so that's kind of where that scene is. But as a whole, geez, Lord of the Rings. I mean, Lord of the Rings is all about. It's all about Frodo, who finds this ring, or who's given this ring by Bilbo Baggins, who we saw in the past movies. He got the ring from Gollum or Smeagol, and then kept it throughout all those years. And then finally, Bilbo, who understands that the ring is really causing his mind to, rift, and he knows that he has to get away from the ring. And so he gives it to Frodo, because he knows it's going to be in safe keepings with him. He knows he's not evil or anything
good
like
heart.
that, or use it for bad. Yeah, good heart. And so then Gandalf, the gray at this point, finds out that he has the ring, and so he brings it to the elves, and they say, well, we gotta destroy it. We gotta destroy this thing, right? And the only way to destroy it is by going back to the mountains, or to the volcano to which it was made from.
Forged.
And so so the whole story was all about them going back to this volcano where the ring was forged. And and it's all about the journey. It's all about the journey. We meet a lot of great characters like Legolas, one of my favorites, one of the favorite elves, you could say.
Yeah.
Legolas.
Jesus.
That was from the video games. If you play one of the Lord of the Rings video games, you play Legolas, he'd just be hitting that bow.
Okay, that makes sense.
But yeah, so
I just be
yeah.
walking around in Smeagol eating people. Yeah. Is Smeagol hungry? Okay.
All right. So yeah, that's what we're kind of getting into. What do you think about the scene and why'd you pick it?
So real quick, small side quest.
Yes.
There's a million different scenes to pick in the first trilogy. Obviously, I think me and Spence, probably not now, but we'll get to, maybe we'll have someone else come in with us. We'll get to maybe some Gandalf stuff and talk about him kind of being a therapist, mentor. Correct me if I'm wrong. That's the same dude in Harry Potter, right?
Yeah, he was Dumbledore.
That is Dumbledore, right?
Wait, no, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. I'm lying. He was Magneto in the X-Men movies.
He's definitely Magneto, but is he not also Dumbledore? They look the same.
That's a different guy.
Those are just two old white dudes. Okay.
Old British white guys.
There you go. But the one bad guy was definitely Count Dooku, right? That was definitely Count Dooku.
Yes, that was Count Dooku.
Okay, thought so. So that'll be awesome to get into some Dumbledore stuff and just kind of like this mentoring therapeutic role that he plays with Frodo and love and trust and the bond. But for this scene stuck out, and there's a few other Smeagol scenes that he's got this dual personality, the evil and the good, the one that likes the friend and kinship of Frodo. And then, there's the one that's controlled and polluted by the ring. And so I'm actually surprised he's able to hold off that version of himself for so long. I feel like he would attack. It's interesting that he's playing this long game. And I thought this was just perfect because this is wonderful metaphor for mental health, negative thoughts, just, your good days, your bad days, like you just waking up in the morning and feeling like shit. Like this is perfect. And I think there's a few fun ways to break down a few sentences that Smeagol and Gollum say to each other. So that's why I picked it. I know it's kind of grotesque. I know his voice is weird. I know he's kind of ugly looking for those of you on YouTube watching it. But this is like a perfect way for a lot of you that are neurodivergent to say that there's two minds, two voices in my head. One of them wants this love, kindness, joy, friendship, community. And the other one is paranoid, scared, villainous, vindictive, vengeful. Kind of like the poster that is behind Spence now. Right? You can see the evilness in it. And I think all of us have that in ourselves. We all have that bit. We're all human, so we all have a lot of those negative attributes. We're all kind of flawed. And then there's that also the really, really, really good side that a lot of us have as well. And so how do those two sides talk to each other? I think that's what we're going to talk about today. This duality of personalities, this intrusive thoughts. And so I think that's what we're going to do. I have not seen Lord of the Rings, and obviously this came out in 2001, 2, and 3, and I just recently watched it in 2023, so we're like 20 years later.
Yeah. Picked a great time to start watching them. You're like, you know what? This is it.
I just randomly sat down, and I had the HBO Max up, and I was like, yeah, fuck it. I'm going to watch the extended versions too. A few of my clients like, you watch the extended version, right? It's like, yeah, of course. Not some noob.
Yeah. Who only watches the standard versions? Fucking weirdos.
Yeah. Like I'm on my shit 20 years later. I'm not sure if we talked about it on the podcast, but I know we were joking around with Vicky the other day. I mean, I didn't watch this the first trilogy of Star Wars until probably 2017, 2018. And then this, because the client wanted me to watch it because she said it was her favorite thing. So I watched it so that me and her could converse about a bunch of stuff. And with my neurodivergent OCD ass, I watched it all in like a couple days. It was like one weekend, just.
Yeah. Well, people have years to kind of look over these movies. You were just like, I'm going to get it done in like 3 days.
3 days. Got it. Yeah. I mean, hell, the other day I watched all 3 Hobbits in one day. One day. Extended versions.
Of course. All the extended.
All extended versions. I remember Spencer was like, "Yo, bro, there's this thing on Star Wars called the Clone Wars. You should check that out." 1 week and it was done.
Yeah. Like, you know what? I did. And I loved it.
It's like 40 episodes in some of these seasons.
Yeah. It's a lot. And a lot of them are kind of dry.
And they're very dry. Just like my love life.
Okay, let's get into that.
Yeah. So, Spence, I know you got a few questions for me. What you thinking about over there?
Yes. Should I do it in the Smeagol voice? Smeagol voice.
So, yeah, Smeagol's got some questions, huh?
Yeah, Smeagol always has questions.
Like, where's my ring?
Remember?
And
he loves
fish.
the riddles. Remember?
Oh, true. I give you 3. It's like, what's in my pocket? I don't know what the fuck's in your pocket.
It's like, bitch. It's like, I got your ring, motherfucker. All right. So, as we're talking about metaphors for intrusive thoughts or dual personalities, how do you work with a client who is having these issues?
It just makes me feel not good. I just feel dirty in a bad way, not in a good way.
You like that?
Cringe. Please do this with your partner, Spence.
Oh, you know I will.
I know you will. Oh my god, you're gonna tear apart her poor soul. So like, how do I work with those clients? It's a thing. As I said earlier, that's why I want to do the scene. I would say it's a thing with me and you in our day-to-day lives. And it doesn't have to be intrusive thoughts either. It could be just you questioning, is your leg healthy enough to walk on? Do I want to do an extra rep? Do I want to pump fake here? Right? There's that anxiety, that duality. Should I go straight or should I take a right here?
Mm-hmm.
But more intensely when you get to work with people that are in therapy, it's usually around something that's life altering, such as severe, persistent anxiety and or depression. So, yes, Smeagol, that finds this ring, and then he gets lost, and he gets deformed, and he's eating raw fish and no friends, loses his voice, doesn't talk to anyone for hundreds of years. Sounds like depression to me. I mean, obviously, it's like it's not going to deform you, but it will morbidly change all your relationships with people. It will change the relationship with yourself. It will most likely will change your eating habits, your self-care. I mean, hopefully your face doesn't get deformed, but like, I mean, if you don't take a shower, I
mean, let's be honest. If you're in a cave like most of your life, you're going to be fucked up.
It's going to change.
It's just a fact.
Somehow he went through evolution, just in one life cycle.
True. Like all these bones are going to be like longer somehow, and his hands are huger.
Somehow.
I don't know how that happened.
And I think if you look at some of his symptomology, it mimics a lot of what my clients go through. I've got clients that can't force themselves to brush their teeth because it's too much work. And I'd be like, yeah, I haven't brushed my teeth in like a week. I'm like, you didn't brush them today? Like, nope. I'm like, I'm glad I'm sitting far from you.
Just, how are you today?
I mean, not to be disrespectful, but I've had clients come in that are extremely depressed, and I can tell that they haven't cleaned themselves or showered, and it's pretty bad. This isn't like a little BO because they worked out. This is like everything is. They look like they just got done coming out of a Walking Dead scene. And, they've been walking for a while in the woods in Atlanta. And it's Walking Dead. It's all in Atlanta, of course. It's just weird, man. And I thought he was a good representation of that. So when one is depressed, you got, as Gollum said in there, he said, "Need me? I kept you alive. I'm the reason why we're here today, Gollum." And then he says his name. And Smeagol's like, "What? I don't need you." The depression will make it seem like that's the best choice. That's the only option. The suicidal, intrusive thoughts make it seem like it's the only option. This is why you're even surviving now. These intrusive thoughts about being paranoid about others, the anxieties, fears, all these severe mental health delusional thoughts, neuroticisms, they sound like Smeagol, and I have clients that do that. To some extent, I've done some of those things. I keep a lot of people away. That way I can focus on my family and my degree and my career. But Gollum does that on a whole nother level.
Yeah, that's
So,
he's obsessive more than anything. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you could say obviously like paranoid, schizophrenic.
But towards an object, though. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yes.
Don't get me wrong. I know where you're going from here. Like, I know you're trying to connect the two, but at the same time, it's just like this motherfucker was just in a cave holding a ring, being like, "I just need this. I don't need anything else.
I got it." Yeah, I mean, I probably don't have clients that do that obsess over just one object. I got clients that obsess over many objects. So if we're going over OCD, got many clients that have that. And if they have certain types of OCD, we're talking like paranoia for germs and stuff. Yeah. It's a thing. I mean, I've got students that have walked past, they'll see like a mouse on the ground and they will freak the fuck out. They will like legit burn their clothes. They will have to go home and dump all their clothes in the trash, wash themselves, clean all their sheets. I'm like, you ain't even been on your sheets. Why you got to clean your sheets? Like, you just walk in the house. I've had clients where they've seen like a bird like fly by them, got to change. I've got clients that inside clothes versus outside clothes. I've seen clients where they've hurt themselves. They've done some self-harm because someone has sat in their chair and, it's their outside clothes that is now sitting on their clean chair or their clean bed in their dorm. And they'll scratch into their arms, trying their best not to snap on that person. And I've had people tell me, like, in their head, they're just rocking and freaking out like Smeagol and talking to themselves. I want to die. I want to die. I want to die. I want to die. And I'm like, kid, you don't need to die over this. Like, you're going to be fine. Right. But some of my neurodivergent clients, man, that OCD can ramp up and it can lead into some really delusional thinking. So it's common. It's more common, this stuff, than what people think. If we're looking at intrusive thoughts, I always like to let people know. Intrusive thoughts are not just suicide and self-harm. It could be, something funny. You have the ADHD mind and like funny stuff's pop in there. It could maybe be, suicide, self-harm, unwanted sexual thoughts, things of like religious stuff. I mean, it could just be cleanliness. It could be many different things. It could be that everyone in the room hates me. It could be like me, that Tide Pod looks really good. I want to eat that. Always with me, with those cigarette lighters that used to be in the car, you would push them in. I'm always like, I want to touch it. And then, of course, one day I did. That's why I no longer have fingerprints on this one finger. So, nice. Yeah, intrusive thoughts 1. Now 0. So at times, Gollum has gotten the best of me. And I think that I guess we'll get into that in a second. I think it's just much more common. This scene is really morbid, but it's much more common than people think, and it's almost in all your daily activities. For those of you that have seen Good Omens, you got that devil and the angel sitting on your shoulder. I think that was also in a baseball movie too, wasn't it?
It's been in everything.
It was a bunch of different things. Yeah,
they do a lot of the like heaven versus hell shit.
Yin and yang, right? It's this and that. All right. What I like to tell clients, side quest. It's like, what voices do you hear? I hear Jesus saying I'm the one. Oh, okay, well, we're gonna go to the hospital now. Yeah, motherfucker crazy. I'm joking. I've not had anyone say that. I've had some people be schizophrenic in my office, and on medication, they're completely fine. When they got off of it, completely terrible. Specifically, it was the meth, not just being off their medication. The meth really hurt. Yeah, not even joking. Yeah, it was scary. But when we're looking at this, these intrusive thoughts, got kind of where I was going with this. The intrusive thoughts, it's interesting how you can also have good ones. And like how we're just talking about Arnold, you can have good ones, you can have bad ones, you can have funny ones. It's a bunch of random stuff. But with training your mind to like see them and just allowing them to come and go, it becomes easier to manage them. With better mental health, so it's less depression, becomes easier to manage them, right? Because when you're depressed, it's really hard. All you hear is that one negative voice. So here we go, back on track. Is what voice do you hear? So I picture it as draw a little stick figure in your mind, or like a human. There's a human in your mind, and you got this voice that's like a wavelength. This is a bunch of little squigglies, and then it gets bigger as they get closest to your ear. So it's like picture just being one really loud earbud or wavelength. And then the other one, right, it's like on a decibel on your iPhone or whatever the hell you got. It's like at 30%, where the negative one is at like 90%. You're probably not going to hear any of the good shit that's going in there, right? The depression and the anxiety is taking control.
Right.
So imagine like that. One earbud is louder. The other one is still playing. It's just very soft. And how do I work with clients is how do we get them to listen to that soft one? So the theory is for most people is we shit all over the bad thoughts. That's stupid. That's dumb. I would never fucking do that. I just want to destroy that part of myself. I've had clients come into me that, you know, I don't want to be like, here's one case. I don't want to be like the people that raised me. I don't want to be like this abusive person that raised me, this violent, I'm going to swear again, piece of shit that hurt my mom, that hurt me, right, that hurt, and I fear is going to hurt my siblings. And I said, okay. I've had this with many clients, all genders. I'm like, why do you even think that you're like them? Well, because I got angry and I got into like a really bad argument and I can feel it, the anger, the frustration. And then if I get frustrated, I'm like, Pops, or I'm like, Moms, I'm going to lash out and hurt someone. So have you ever hurt anyone? No. So you're just randomly going to start fucking hurting people? No. Are you also drinking a lot? No. So you're already not like Pops. But besides that. Do you think your father actually really cares, or your loved one, whoever is doing the thing? Do you think they actually care or think about being bad? What are you talking about? I said, you're in my office, scared to death that you're going to become like the person that abused you. Scared to death. That already shows that you're better than what your father or your parent has ever been. You don't want to hurt anyone, and you're so terrified that you're sitting in my office to work on your anger. I'm here to tell you, I don't think you have that much anger. It's just mostly anxiety and some trauma that we need to work through. Do you blow up on people? Of course. And that's when I go into my, if you think you're a piece of shit, you have no idea who's sitting in front of you. And you think that other people that I love truly, just because they've been angry or violent, that they're bad people. These small things don't make you a bad person. But a lifetime of it, like some people's family members, a lifetime of it, that might make you a bad person. So we talk about this. And then the humans, they start getting relaxed. He's like, oh shit, maybe I'm not terrible. Maybe I'm not destined to be this piece of shit that's abusive. Mentally, physically, emotionally. Sometimes worse. And you can see people just start to relax. And so that voice, that really shitty voice, Spence, it just starts to fade and fade and fade. And that, I think that's going to lead us into our next few questions. Is how do we empower the louder voice to say that you're okay? I had a client the other day. They said something. Quick. They said, I'm smart. Right? They said that they're smart. And they said it quick. It wasn't towards school. I said, hey, shit, let's stop. See, what? Hey, stop right there. You said you're smart, huh? I think your therapy's done. You've been cured. What the fuck you talking about? I said, well, hey, you said you're smart. And when we first met, you said you're the biggest idiot in the school. And now you're smart. I said, we're good. Well, no, you don't understand. I'm not smart at all these other things. I said, nah, I don't give a shit. I don't care. You said it. It's done. I collect my money. We're good.
Yeah. Get out. That's a full hour. Been there 10 minutes.
Yeah. I'm going to charge you. I'm going to go ahead and round up.
60 minutes.
Yeah. It was hilarious. I forced them to sit in that for a few minutes while joking because they can say something very positive about themselves. shortly after that, they were emotionally destroyed because a lot of stuff came up. And then I picked them back up after they fell down emotionally. But it's funny, whenever someone says something good, I always like awkwardly pause everything. I don't give a shit what's going on. I don't care if you're in the middle of the worst story in the world or the best story in the world. I'm going to stop you and point it out because it's a powerful moment that voice in you is still there. The Smeagol is still alive. All right. Long-winded, but I was excited to talk about this.
Yeah.
Because every person on this podcast will have two different voices telling them they suck and that they're awesome at the same time. Which one do you listen to? And as my clients know, side quest. This client sent me an email the other day this weekend. I ain't seen them in a while. It's summer break. They said, I've been thinking about you a lot lately. And I was like, oh shit, that's not good. That means that things are going bad. And they said, no, I wanted to thank you because a lot of stuff that we worked on has been good. I'm still on medication. Some other things that are still sus, but I'm still with my partner and everything's awesome. And I'm doing better. I'm doing better. I just wanted to let you know, thank you. And I said, okay. I sent them a very nice email, asked some questions. This fucker never responds to emails. They'll send me a book. I'll send them like 2 lines. Nothing. Son of a bitch. And they can hear my voice. Sometimes I'll say it too. I said, listen to me. If you can see my fat head rolling around in your brain somewhere, damn, look at this. If you counting sheep and my fat head just jumps across that fence.
Scary. It's a scary thought.
Yeah. It probably sounds like the rams from Thor Love and Thunder.
Most annoying part of that movie.
Yeah, there's a lot annoying.
Yeah.
But people do hear the voice, and I do my best to push them to do that. I also technically stole that from me hearing my father's voice all the time and my mother's voice and thinking about what they would do in certain situations and being like, yeah, let's do this, or no, let's not do that. But I also stole it from a movie. I was in This Is Us. I recorded this scene probably in 2017, and I showed a bunch of people. I remember I showed one specific individual because I wanted them to make better choices. So I recorded it on whatever bootleg software I had at the time, and we watched it. Yes. All right. What else you got for us, Smeagol?
Is it normal for the bad thoughts or the columns to win?
Yes, Smeagol. As you know, when your altar takes over, sometimes you're powerless. Sometimes it consumes you, overwhelms you, depending on your mood, what you ate, hydration, loved ones, what some negative asshole said to you at work. You can get really down and really sad, and then you can start to believe that Gollum was right. Gollum was right. Everyone is trying to hurt us, and they stole Precious. They stole it from us. So now we must murder them. Please do not hurt anyone. Murder. Happens. So why Smeagol, you asked this? It is very accurate. And I think people should know that you shouldn't get sad when depressive thoughts, intrusive thoughts come in. Don't get scared that they come in. It's something that's going to happen. If it happens, you'll deal with it. Well, I'm scared that it's going to happen again. You'll deal with it if it happens again. Stop having panic attacks about panicking. Stop having these anxiety attacks about having a future anxiety attack or having these. I remember working with a client. This is intense, people. So this is a trigger warning. If you don't feel like hearing suicidality, then shut it off for like the next few minutes. I remember I had a client, intense intrusive thoughts, intense. We're talking like visuals, like them feeling themselves or visualizing themselves walking up this flight of stairs and then jumping off like the building, or they're just doing their thing at work and then visualizing themselves shooting themselves. We're talking like some horrible intrusive thoughts, and person had depression, a little bit of anxiety, most likely neurodivergent, but they actually had a good amount of bipolar disorder coursing through them, didn't want to do medication, which is completely fine. It's everyone's choice. They were managing. As long as they had a good amount of sleep, social support, no drugs or alcohol, they were pretty good. And when things would go sideways, they would email me. Then we start working, putting in some boundaries, start getting people respect them, going back to sleep, exercising. Shit would get better. They would regulate.
Mm-hmm.
But I said, homie, you're never going to do any of these things, right? We talked about it. They're never going to do them. And we said, if they come, allow them to go. If they come, don't be freaked out. Be like, oh, interesting. That's really fucked up. Not going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
That actually helped. That legitimately helps. Just saying that when you see it, it's not that big of a deal. It does not mean that you want to hurt yourself. It does not mean that you're depressed or you've been triggered. Sometimes they'll just come. I was walking through Walmart a couple months ago. Oh, I'm looking at the Doritos and then this and that. I said, oh, bleach. I said, oh, I could drink that bleach. I'm like, why the fuck would I drink the bleach? Literally, I thought that to myself. I'm like, if anyone else would think that, they'd be like, oh my God, am I depressed? Am I suicidal? I'm like, no, I just randomly thought something really weird.
I love how you can just like go through a bleach aisle, be like, I could drink that, and then just kind of keep on walking. Anyone else would be like you could see them contemplate, like, what the fuck is happening to me? You're just like,
yeah. Right, then maybe that's the Gollum in me. Well, who knows? Hope to God that I never fall prey to actually following through with some of these intrusive thoughts.
yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen. You have a hard time enough with like grainy substances that you may drink. So I think bleach would be like, no,
the texture. I'm a texture guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this doesn't taste like Powerade.
My poison.
I'll do it like The Last of Us, just a whole bunch of opiates and some wine.
Good year.
Yeah. This is a good. What year is this? Oh, this is Pfizer 2025. I'm sorry to joke about some of these, right? Because obviously suicide is like, this is bad, funny, but still, it is funny. It's bad, but it's funny.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
Intrusive thoughts. It is a thing. And so, like you said, it's super weird of me, but I know that it's something that just happens, and I have intrusive thoughts about a lot of stuff. There'll be accidents, fires, me dropping something. Sometimes a lot of neurodivergent people will get deja vu, or they'll have intense nightmares, which I have as well at times. I never know why, just sometimes they pop up. So these don't be too scared. They do happen. That does not mean that it doesn't really mean anything, and sometimes it does mean a lot. What I mean, sometimes it's life is going awry, and if you start to get more intrusive thoughts, then we need to start fixing some things. And all the things I just talked about. And you need to start identifying, are you being overwhelmed and why? Are you sleeping, drinking enough water, cutting out the drugs and alcohol, cutting out toxic people? There's ways to like manage some of these symptoms. Or it could be like me, and you're just cruising through Walmart, and then you just think something stupid because sometimes you're just an idiot, and you chalk it up as that.
Would the Tide or
the bleach?
Would the Tide bleach be better? Or
yeah, this guy bleach in the Tide.
Oh,
combo meal, because I'm all about like most bang for your buck.
Can clean your insides while you're gasping for air.
There you go. But it happens. It so often happens, and I think it could be very damaging if people think that they are bat stuff crazy if they have an intrusive thought.
Right.
It happens. Write it down. Look at your triggers. Identify what's going on. Start to systematically make things a little bit better. Seek consultation. Maybe do some journaling. There's a bunch of different ways that you can start itemizing this stuff and making life better. Because sometimes the intrusive thoughts will win. It happens. As long as you can get away from it being completely scared and deregulating, should be good. What else you got, Smeagol?
So actually, Spencer is actually going to ask this question. Come on, Smeagol, calm down. All right? No, it's all right. It's all right.
Little bugger.
Having a moment. Do you see people who are scared of their intrusive thoughts? And we ask this because
we see a lot of the time that when we look at social media and things like that, intrusive thoughts, it's usually like a ha funny thing, like, I almost did this or whatever, right? Moving on with my day. But do you see people that are more scared of their intrusive thoughts rather than just being like a humor thing?
Oh, yeah. I kind of already touched on it with a couple case studies that I talked about. People are scared about the intrusive thoughts and they start to deregulate and they think that there's actually something even more wrong than what there is. Talked about some people worrying about becoming horrible people in their lives or that they'll abuse other people, do other things. It can be very deregulating. So sometimes the weird stuff wins. Sometimes you don't win every battle. Some days you wake up, you feel like shit. You look in the mirror and you're like, well, I'm a fat piece of shit and I don't deserve any love. And then 2 days later, you'd be like, I'm kind of digging this outfit. I feel pretty good today. Like, this is, I got the lumps in the right areas and my dun-dun-dun ain't just dropping and I'm popping and I'm locking. Right? I'm going to have some, I'm having a baby or putting a baby somewhere. There's a baby somewhere.
Wow.
I know, I'm sorry. It's a whole lot of intrusive thoughts.
So many.
So many. Some days you feel really good. Some days you feel really shitty, and that's completely normal. Now, if you see a bunch of days where you feel really shitty and a bunch of days are starting to win, Golem's starting to win, it makes sense to be scared now. Now it makes sense to be scared.
Right.
If you are starting to get scared and worried, instead of just doing the self-help things that we were talking about, that's when you need to reach out to someone. Because you do not want to be just trapped in your mind with that hot mess. So it is normal to be scared. And if you're feeling anxiety or panic attacks or like legit phobias, fear, if you're starting to feel like Smeagol, then we need to reach out to someone because it's too much now. Now it's out of your hands. Now you need a professional. So if you want to talk to your parents, family members, siblings, really good friends, you want to text the helpline numbers. If you want to talk to mental health resources in your community, you want to sign up for BetterHelp, whatever, you just need to talk to someone. Because now the fear is impacting your day-to-day functioning. Because not everyone is as good as Smeagol in this scene at telling Golem to go F himself. You know what? I don't need you. And a matter of fact, I hate you. And you need to go away. What? You need to go. And then he says it a few more times and poof, he vanishes. And then he's so happy. And he's dancing and he's spinning around. Those are the good days. Those are the days that you have energy in you and you feel good. You feel primed. You feel ready, accomplished. I got some clients that like to, they're psychopaths, these clients. They like to start their days out with an exercise. Like they'll go for a run in the morning, like 4 a.m., 5 a.m. I'm like, Jesus.
Fucking, what's this? Christian Bale in American Psycho. He wakes up, does his whole routine and everything like that, does all his workouts, and he's like, I have a facial gel that I use to peel. And then you see him just like peeling away his face.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Besides that.
Watch out for American Psycho coming to you.
Yeah, coming to you, But a lot of people like to start their days off with exercise because they feel accomplished. I mean, it can be broken down even smaller than that. Maybe it's just your daily routine of getting your coffee, taking a shower. Maybe it's listening to some music. I have some clients that like to journal. I have quite a few of my clients at my old school and at this school that are more religious. So they like to read a little bit out of their Bible in the morning before they start their day. Awesome. Whatever makes you feel like you're getting on track, do it. These are the things that can give you some wins. Sometimes we just need some small wins. Maybe I just need you to do something real, a small assignment, build up some small wins, build up some positivity. Now you've got the good voices going, right? Now you feel like eating better because you feel better during the day because you realize you're not a piece of shit. And then you're like, all right, this isn't a bad day. And when you go to lay your head down at night, I was a success today. A lot of clients will just give up on the day because like it'll start a little shady. I'm like, you gave up on the whole day just because you had a bad morning, you spilled your coffee or you woke up 15 minutes late. So you're going to ruin the rest of the day? Nothing good can happen for you. So you mean today's a bad day, but you've sat here and you've laughed with me, had a great time. We've talked about some therapy. We pumped you up. So today is still a shit day? I look at my watch. It's only 10:30. There's still a whole lot of day left. So tell me how this intrusive thought is valid. It's not valid. It's actually quite delusional. So that's where we go with some of these things. Is looking at, is your thought rational? Is it based in rationality? Is it based in logic? Is it based in this fucking dimension? Or not? Sadly, as we see throughout the series, and Spence, you can talk more about it, but he's dealing with these demons his entire life.
Mm-hmm.
You think that he's going to be a good person, Smeagol, and then just a few scenes later, you're like, he's like plotting their murders. And then what's the other dude's name? Is it Sam?
Yeah, Sam.
Yeah, there's the whole stuff with Sam, and then he tries to get Sam out of the way and kill him, and it's just So that's why I thought he was another good character, man. You told me to watch this stuff a long time ago. I'm finally getting to a lot of stuff, and I landed on Smeagol.
Yeah, you're like, Smeagol. Let's talk about Smeagol. Smeagol, but I'm going to say Smeagol. Sounds better.
Smeagol. Question for you.
Yes.
Did you ever... Well, you know this stuff. You know the nerd realm. Did you ever think of him as like a good metaphor? Or did you ever see the didactic or this type of thing being relatable to other humans? Did you ever think that humans would relate to this scene? Because this is a very relatable scene if you think about it like we do on this podcast.
I think so. Because we all have that one thing that might push us over the edge. And we see it in tons of different medias, right? Like for Dexter, right? For Dexter.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like he's a good one because he's killing bad people, right? But like at what point do you go like, is he doing, like, is it good for him to kill bad people? Or, does it matter who he kills at all? Right. And so we always teeter that line of like what we're okay with and what we're not. And so I think we kind of get that with Gollum because we all have that like teetering point of like, do we think like this is right or not? And it's like, how can you really blame him? Like you can blame him, right? You can blame Gollum, you can blame Smeagol for what he's done, obviously, because he murdered his brother in cold blood, whatever.
Yep.
But at the same time, he's also isolated himself so much from everyone and everything that you can really see that like anybody in that situation would probably be not as well off as he is. So.
Is wicked. Yeah. I mean, Frodo had it just for a little bit and his mind was getting polluted and mean.
Yeah. And he was the nicest you could ever see.
Everyone gets polluted by the ring. And so it goes to show you, man, I think this depression, this intrusive thoughts, it affects everyone. And if you latch onto it like he does on that damn ring, the precious, if you think that the depression or the anger or violence is the key, well, homie, I got to show you a TV trilogy called Star Wars. Because that shit don't work out.
That also shows us the, like, too much of anything really can be the detriment to you, right?
Yeah.
Because...
Like me with pizza. Sorry.
That Domino's. Too much Domino's is evil. It's evil.
Yeah,
must destroy it. But yeah, I think that kind of shows. I think it's a good indicator for our vices and how too much of something that we think is a good thing can always turn us into like the worst part of ourselves. I mean, even Bilbo was going crazy.
Yep.
When Frodo tried to take the ring when Gandalf tried to take the ring from him, he was just like,
oh yeah, like, no, in the beginning,
beginning of the first
I was talking about the Hobbit So at the end of
Yeah.
the Hobbit, he's like, "What do you got in there? I know you got a ring." He's like, "No, I ain't got nothing. I gave that away."
Yeah. It was kind of like an addiction, really, for him,
Mm-hmm.
especially because he kept on reaching in his pocket, being like, "It's there,"
and feeling
there.
it. Yep,
Yeah, it's there. So
it's a safety thing.
yeah. So this is all just a this is all just a metaphor for like drug abuse. That's what Tolkien was going for.
Yeah, drug abuse, addiction, depression, anxiety, delusions. I mean, a lot of stuff can lead you down that path. Real quick, I want to go back to something that you said to give more clarification. When we're talking about Dexter, the good person, always his voice was his father. His father was always telling him to do right, and this is what you should do, and don't hurt people. And I know if you are going to do this,
brother was the bad guy. Yeah.
Correct. So his brother was the bad guy. Plus, he already thought he was a shitty person, anyways. But his dad was always that voice of reason. And so that right, that's a good metaphor too, is what's guiding you.
Mm-hmm.
And think about something. If the voice or entity or vision that is guiding you in your mind, your day-to-day habits, if it's one that is leading you astray into bad habits, bad routines, bad relationships, what are you getting out of it?
Mm-hmm.
So it's only bringing you misery. So like this ring, it's only bringing him misery. Well, I can see one of my clients saying, well, it's one of the 7 deadly sins. It would be greed and gluttony with him, right? It just needs more and more and more. And it has to be like the ring all the time. You got to touch it and you got to rub it, right? And you got to have the powers. If the things that you're doing or the voices that you're listening to or the society or system that you're in, community that you're in, is hurting you, do your best to take a pause, assess, and see if you need to put yourself in a different situation, if you so can, if you're privileged enough to do that. But specifically, if it's polluting your mind, you have the ability to fight that and stop that. And I know we're talking about metaphors and movies and Disney or Dexter and how there's stuff in Disney. There's a bunch of different stuff. This is real life issues, real life stuff. You can stop some of these intrusive thoughts. Try not to get overstimulated. Don't be super scared. Know that it happens to everyone. Relax your mind and then start working your way out of that hole. Start working your way out of that situation. Maybe it'll take a couple months. Maybe it'll take a lifetime. Will it be worth it? That's up to you. That's up to you. I got clients that I can change their lives in a couple sessions. I got some that it takes me a couple years. And maybe they went from wanting to die at a level of 10 and then I get them to like a 7. That's a lot better. Maybe I get them from a 7, after more sessions down to a 5. One of my boys told me, he's like, I'm good now. I said, you is? He said, I'm good. I said, well, how much time do you think you got on the clock now now that you graduated? He said, there's no clock anymore. As long as I continue to do what you said, to meet people, to have fun, to experience life, I'm going to be good. I said, my dog. And I said, just in case you start to get shitty, though. So then we went through the steps.
Right.
If you start to get depressed for over 3 to 4 weeks, if you start to have intrusive thoughts and suicidality, if you start to recluse, if you start to go on these long fucking walks at night, and contemplating things you shouldn't be contemplating, if you start looking at traffic, now we know we need to talk to someone. But that's not going to happen again. So you don't have that mindset. It's not going to happen again. That's the part of like addiction therapy. Relapse. Plan for it. So that way when you fall, because we all will, you know that it's okay and you can pick your ass back up and we can get to moving. Okay, I get it. So we write it all down. We take a picture of it. And I said, this is the plan when things go bad. Because if you prepare for it, you won't be scared. And I'm not telling you to have anxiety about everything. I'm telling you about make specific modifications to things. Know what your threshold is for your mental health and the golems in your voice. I'm not telling you to kill the golem in your head. I'm telling you to put a muzzle on him. Let the other one talk for once. It's a good metaphor. I think Dexter's a good one too. I think there's a bunch of different ones out there, man, that you can look. Long story short, technically it takes over him because the ring is so powerful, and he ends up dying in the vat of lava in the mountain. So, but at least he got some.
did.
I know.
He's like, "No."
At least he got some chicken fingers before he died.
Yeah. Chicken fingers. Hobbits.
He was so happy. I love when he's happy. He's just dancing and having fun.
Yeah. He was real happy when he was diving into the lava.
I'm reaching to the sky, people.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what we're doing. Unless you got anything else for me, boss, I think I hit this good enough. It doesn't have to be a super long pod today. I just thought this is old school. This is an old school pod. Very good visual, very good metaphor.
Yeah, I think we're good. With that, thank you everybody for joining us for our pod today, talking about Gollum and Smeagol and Lord of the Rings, nerding out.
Shout out to our special guest today for making an appearance.
Lol. I'm so happy to talk about mental health.
Oh, good. Are you still depressed, Smeagol?
I'm fucking dead.
How are you talking right now? It's the voices in your head. Oh, well, that's nice.
Oh, he lives within all of us.
Oh, yes.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining us today. Like we said at the beginning, please go to Bubs Naturals and Cure Hydration and use our code DSP20 to get 20% off your entire order for both of those companies. We'd really appreciate it. Go and check out our merch. We have a ton of different things on there. Mental Health University, one of my faves. Faves.
Mental health stuff, a bunch of neurodivergent stuff, hats, backpacks, shirts, hoodies, whatever you want.
LGBTQ community stuff. So Pride Month.
Pride Month, trans, we got a bunch of stuff.
There you go. And then also go check out our self-help resources as in the link tree. All different types of things that you can do. Quizzes, coloring things, all the fun stuff.
It's all the goods.
Yes, and if you do use it, please tip, because Naz took a lot of time and effort to make those lists and resources. Yeah. So
I even had interns help me out with that. It took a long time.
There you go. See, look at that. Pay them and pay us for them.
Yeah, pay us. It's called trickle down economics.
Yeah, we'll give them something, maybe.
Yeah. Awesome.
So yeah, thank you, folks. I'm Spencer. That's Naz. This is the Different Spectrums podcast. Bye.
Much love, everyone. Peace. Take care of yourself.
Or don't.
It's up to you.